Today, we're talking about shooting technique. 10 ways you can support your camera to give you sharper images and videos. I'm Matt, full-time wildlife, nature photographer, and cinematic filmmaker. I travel the country in my van, finding exotic animals and beautiful locations. I just wanted to make this video to pass along what I've learned along the way, so let's dive in. Number 10, and my least favorite way of shooting pictures and videos, is handheld shooting. It's very difficult to stabilize the camera this way, which means increased shutter speeds or increased ISO to get a sharp photo. The only time I prefer this shooting method is shooting birds in flight. I found it's easier to track the birds or animals when they're fast moving if you have more range of movement. Now, if you are gonna handheld shoot, there is a proper way to do it. You should turn sideways like this to your object, and you should put your elbow here against your side like this. And you want to use the viewfinder, not the screen, because if you use the screen, you have more room for movement, and you don't have the tension between your eye and your hand and your elbow. You create like a triangle right here. They'll give you the best chance at stabilizing the camera, like so. Number 9 is to get down on one knee. I often use this when shooting wildlife. It helps to stabilize the camera because you can put your elbow here against your other knee. You can put the viewfinder against your eye, again creating tension like so. And it also gives you ease of movement so you can track the animals easily. This is also very effective for landscape photography. You do the same way, just like so. It helps to stabilize the camera, and it also gives you a better shooting angle for better composition. Number 8 is to use a tree. If you decide to use a tree, you want to put your elbow against the tree like this. You want to set the camera in your hand and use the viewfinder like so. You can also lean against the tree like this. This will give you additional support as well. If there happens to be a twig like this or a branch on the tree that you can use, then you can set the camera on the branch just like so. This allows you to use 2 hands to control the back of the camera. It's a very stable way to support the camera. Just make sure there's no twigs like this in front of the lens so that it will affect your shot. That brings us to number 7. Number 7 is using a log or a rock or a picnic table or something you can set the camera on to stabilize the camera. You can also do like I'm doing here, and I'm using my knee and the log to support the camera. This allows me to have 2 hands on the back of the camera and still have range of motion. But your range of motion is going to be limited in this factor because the lens is sitting on the log or the table or whatever it is that you're using. The other alternative is you can set the whole camera onto the log, like so. If you happen to be taking a landscape photo and there's a rock or a table or something that you can just set the camera on, this is ideal because the camera is 100% supported. If I was using this method, I would open the screen in the back of the camera, and I would use the screen on the back of the camera to do my focus and my settings versus trying to stick my head up here by this log and get into the viewfinder. Number 6 is sitting on the ground, just like I am right here. If you have a big lens, you can use your feet to support the end of the lens, your knees to support the back of the camera. This is a great way to shoot video. I do this often when I'm shooting wildlife if I don't have my tripod, so that I can stabilize the camera 100% and get the shakiness out of the video. This also works really well for landscape photography. You can set the camera right here. You can use the viewfinder if you choose, or you can fold the screen out in the back like so, and then just take the photo like this. Number 5 is a monopod or a bipod. It's just a stick that attaches to the bottom of the camera. I don't personally have a camera sponsor, so I don't have one. I'm just using my tripod for demonstration purposes. When shooting with one of these, you don't want to just shoot like this. It can be somewhat helpful, but that's not the best way to do it. If you're going to use one of these, you want to put your hand on the end of the lens like so, your other hand on the back of the camera where your shutter button is, and you want to pull down on both. If you pull down on both, it creates some tension between the two, and then you finish it off by putting your eye up to the viewfinder. This makes a very stable connection. Number 4 is shooting from inside your vehicle. If you choose to shoot from inside your vehicle, make sure the engine is off to prevent vibration from the engine affecting your photos. Most people would put their elbow here on the armrest. They would support the camera just like this. This is a great way to effectively shoot from inside the vehicle, but you can also brace the camera against the door frame or the glass. Just remember, it's easier to shoot from the left side of the vehicle if you're right-handed, because you can support the camera like this and you can shoot out the window. If you're shooting the opposite way across your body like this, it might be more difficult. The best way to shoot from your vehicle is to put the window up slightly like this, set the camera lens on the window itself like that. This gives you two hands on the back of the camera and allows you to keep it super stable. You can also put one arm on the armrest like this and put it underneath the camera. This gives you even more stabilization. If you don't have a lens cover like this to protect your lens from the window, just put a rag or an old t-shirt, something to protect your glass and your camera from getting scratches. Number 3 is shooting off the hood of your car. If you choose to shoot off the hood of your car, just keep in mind, you want to keep the engine off. You want to put your elbow on the hood of the car like this and lean against the front of the car. This will give you the maximum stabilization that you need. Because both of your elbows are contacting the hood, you have a nice stable platform. Even though this is an effective method of stabilizing the camera, I do not prefer this method because you can get movement from the vehicle due to the wind. There's also additional heat coming off the front of the car from the engine, so you can get what's called heat glaze in the photos. If you're not sure what heat glaze is, it really can affect your photos. And I actually did a whole video about sharper images, which includes heat glaze and what it is and what it does to your photos. I'll link it in the descriptions below if you want to check that out. Number 2 is laying down. Put your elbows on the ground. I often use this for shooting small animals or birds. It gives you a level shooting angle versus shooting down on them, which will give you a unique photo, and oftentimes you can get a cleaner background, especially if there's water involved in it, like you're shooting ducks. You can get open sky in the background versus just water. So it'll give you a better photo. And lastly, that brings us to number 1, a tripod. The tripod is the best way to stabilize the camera. I know it's more of a production to carry it around, but when it comes to stabilization, nothing beats a tripod. Another advantage with a tripod is most of them are adjustable. They also have legs that swing out like this, so you can achieve different heights. If it's a super windy day, you can spread the legs out real far. You can hang a weight or a bag on this hook for additional stabilization. If you shoot a lot of video like I do, investing in a fluid head or a gimbal head is probably something you should do eventually, especially if you're taking photography more serious. This will give you range of motion and stabilization. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something about shooting technique that helps you get sharper photos. If I forgot to mention something or there's something that you use that works really well, please leave me a comment below and I'll pass that information along to other people, because that's my goal in these videos. Next week I'm going to be out filming moose. They're still in velvet, but their antlers are starting to get big enough I want to get some photos of them. So I'm going to make a video about that, where to go, what to do, and how to photograph moose. So don't forget, hit the bell notification, subscribe to my channel so you get a notification when that video comes out. Last week I actually did a video about 3 days shooting in the Tetons with multiple different wildlife and some photography tips along the way. If you want to check that out, I'll attach it right here and I'll see you over there.